Well, folks, I felt I must carry on. I must pick up again the subject that I touched on yesterday. The ongoing saga with Oldham Council, the Labour Party, and the young girls within that borough who have been very, very badly abused and let down over at least a 4-year period, although I'm hearing reports that it's still happening now. Seen something else last night again on my YouTube feed, and it came from someone that I very, very much believe in, think the world of. I think she's absolutely spot on. Tend to listen to everything she says when she opens her mouth. That's Maggie Oliver. That's the champion of the young girls that were sexually abused in Rochdale a good few years ago by these Asian grooming gangs. I think they put down mainly as Pakistani Muslims. And she said it's just shocking what's happening in Oldham as well. She said it's absolutely shocking that Labour aren't looking into it properly and doing a full root and branch investigation and bringing people to task, those that were in power that should have done things about it. She said, but for all it's shocking, it's not at all surprising. She said, and it's all right that Badenoch and Braverman coming out now and saying things need to be done. One ex of the Conservative Party and one the Conservative leader. She said the Conservatives were in power when all this was going on. She said they've been approached on many occasions to sort things out and they've turned a blind eye. So when the Conservatives were in power, they were doing nothing. Labour now are in power, they're doing nothing. It's not being reported in your mainstream media, your BBCs, your ITVs, your Channel 4s, nothing. It's only GB News that are covering it. It's not really being reported in the press. Everybody's trying to suppress it. It goes on, I think she said, from the time Gordon Brown had something to do with it. He was saying you couldn't mention Asians or Pakistanis. He was telling the judicial that he didn't want it pushed. She said, and at that time, I think she said Keir Starmer was very high up there. She said, and he did nothing. So he's going to do absolutely nothing now. She said, nobody's doing anything. She, unlike me, welcomed the intervention of Elon Musk. I'm not so sure that is needed. But she said, anybody that shines a light on what's going on, she said, is good. She said, but nothing, absolutely nothing is going on. She said, and my biggest problem is this, she said, it's not so much that ultimately they're getting tried and getting sent down, she said. People probably don't realise this, she said, but when those got sent down in Rochdale, she said, the judge sent them down and did a proviso that when they came out of prison, they were to be deported. And she said they fought it all the way. I think she said with legal aid, which is taxpayers' money, saying that when they came out of prison, they felt that they were entitled to go back to Rochdale and live amongst the family there. They didn't want to go back home to Pakistan. She said, and almost to a man, they won the cases. None have been deported. She said, I agree with what Braverman's saying now. She said, everybody that's involved in these kind of awful things against our children, our white young girls in all these areas, all these boroughs, they should be tried, sent to prison with a hefty prison sentence, and then thrown out of the country because we don't want their like here. And she said the same as I said yesterday. It's unfair for these young girls who've been put through absolutely everything, unimaginable things, years later to see the people, the perpetrators, back out on the same streets as them. It's just totally wrong. So listening to Maggie last night, and when you listen to her, you think to yourself, this has been going on for years and years and years. It's still going on now, and nobody in power wants to do anything about it. Absolutely nobody. And she said it's great that GB have got this crusade at the moment. She said they need to stick on with it and keep going with it. She said, but there's others that need to pick up the... Well, she actually used the term I use, I think, the grasp the nettle, because nobody's prepared to do that at the moment. She said, until somebody does, it's going to carry on and carry on and carry on. It's just endemic. It's just happening throughout our country. She said there's loads of different towns that it's happening in, she said, and I'm hearing reports from everywhere. But it's not going to change until things change. And I thought it was, it's a shame. I'm disappointed not many more seen my video I did yesterday. I think it's been watched about 70 people. Luckily on other channels, things are getting more and more traction, and they need to, because we need to know, as a public, what's going on out there in our towns and cities. We really, really need to know. And we all need collectively to push those in power to do something about this, to address these issues and get them sorted once and for all. It's not right that our young girls are on the streets and knowing anything can be happening to them, and then when things are happening, we can't do anything about it. And when we finally get them back, if ever we get them back, the people that are carrying out these heinous crimes, they're just not serving a proper sentence. And as I say, when they come out, they're back on our streets. It's just got to stop. It's just absolutely got to stop. Somebody's got to stop that roundabout and stop it from keep happening, because it's just going on and on and on. And there's no end to it. But Maggie, well done. Don't worry, love it. Every time you speak up, I'm one that'll be listening. I think you've done a sterling job. It's just a pity there's not many more Maggie Olivers within this country, because if there were, I think this whole saga may have ended long before now. I really, really do. I think she's brilliant, that woman. I really think she's top notch. You'd much rather have her than politicians. You'd listen to her any day over a politician.